Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I've got this Ball Magneto S on loan directly from Ball Watches in Switzerland that I'm excited to share with you today. This watch has some really cool, impressive technical features that just make this watch a compelling sports piece. So I'm going to start by showing you my favorite thing about the watch. It is what they call the A-proof system. It is their way of taking this watch, this RR1103 chronometer movement, and shielding it from magnetic fields. So how you operate it is you take this fluted bezel, you simply twist it, and then you engage that A-proof system and you shield the movement with this mu metal alloy, thus rendering it anti-magnetic up to 80,000 amperes per meter, which is the exact amount that like a Rolex Milgauss would be anti-magnetic too. So I think that's really cool. And I love just the engagement system here. It's very tactile and really fun to operate. So those days when you just want to take a look at that beautiful chronometer level movement, which is an ETA 2824 based movement that Ball takes, they upgrade, they regulate. You can see they finished it very well. And then so you can look at that and then, hey, let me twist the bezel here and render it anti-magnetic. That is so impressive to me. So this mu metal alloy, what's really cool is it is razor thin. It is only 0.06 millimeters in thickness. And I'm going to put the specs here on the screen for the alloy. You can see the different elements that make it up. It's just really cool how they're able to do that. And I just can't get enough of operating that. Now, another feature that I like about it, let's say you're wearing this watch, you can't remember if you've got the anti-magnetic system engaged. If you look at the side of the case here, you can see another glass area, and when it's white, that means the movement is unshielded. And then again, you twist the bezel, it turns black, and then you know you've got that anti-magnetic system engaged, the A-proof system. So that is just really cool, very unique. I've never seen that on another watch before. Now let's take a look at the dial. I'll show you some macro video here so you guys can see the nice execution of this dial. We've got kind of a texturized dial with micro markings along the outside, some good use of contrasting colors here. So we've got yellow, and that's found on each of the 12 indexes, and also chronometer is done in yellow. And then it works very well with Ball's official color, the racing green, which you can see on the seconds hand. There's also a very small ring along the index chapter ring that you can see is also done in that reflective green. So good use of details here. I think it's a very clean, very symmetrical dial with the date aperture at the 3 o'clock position. Now what's awesome about this, and what Ball does on every one of their watches, is they're utilizing Microtech tritium tubes. This one is using very thin rectangular shaped ones that glow and just they're really the best for low light or no light situations. Now this one's interesting because that index chapter ring is actually loomed, so it's going to appear brighter here in the video, but once your eyes adjust to low light, those tritium tubes really take off, and it really is just a constant glow that is the best for these types of situations. So really like the luminescence and the tritium tubes here. I actually use my Fireman here as my nighttime or my low light situation watch, just because of how nice it is to use tritium in those types of situations. Now let me give you a wrist shot here. This is the watch on my 7.25 inch wrists. You can see the 42 millimeter case actually sits very well. And looking at the smaller size proportion dial, I think it makes this watch wear a little bit smaller than the specs indicate that it is. And I find it to be very comfortable. The fit and the finish looks very sharp. And I think this domed sapphire crystal with blue AR coating really just kind of sets it off. This is an impressive sports piece. Not only because it's anti-magnetic, it has a screw-down crown and a chronometer level movement that is, certified, but this has something that Ball does that's called the spring lock shock protection system. So I'm going to show you that here now. I'm going to put a picture here on the screen so you guys can see what the system looks like in theory and in design. but it enhances the shock resistance of the movement by 66%. So this thing can withstand a serious amount of shock, up to 5,000 Gs, which is very impressive. It's almost unbelievable how high that is. So you could absolutely take this watch golfing in just about any different situation. You're not going to have any worries when it comes to shock protection, anti-magnetic capabilities, water resistance, or low light visibility. It really is kind of what you consider one of the ultimate sports pieces, and I think it's pretty cool. I like this design. I like the model name, Magneto S. Very, very cool. So what would be the negative aspects to this piece? I'd say it's more subjective, and for me it would be the lug width. The lug width here is 21 millimeters, so that kind of limits you when it comes to aftermarket options. Now, Ball does give you this fabric strap with the custom buckle. It is leather backed. It is nice and it is comfortable, but I'm kind of a bracelet guy, so I'd really like to see a factory bracelet option, or perhaps change the lug width to an even width so it's a little bit easier to get some other options to play with, because I do think this is a pretty strong design. So that would be my criticism of this piece, albeit it's kind of a subjective one. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Please reach out to me. Big thanks to Ball Watches for lending this in. I think it's really cool of them to do. So I'll put a link to Ball's website in the description. You guys can check out some really cool watches that they offer. I am a fan of this brand. So, all right, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.